Hey guys, Doug Hare here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about a movie that is just plain weird. It's called Death Machines. Stay tuned. So, the movie Death Machines. It's from that box set that I have called Drive-In Cult Cinema Collection. It's full of weird stuff, and I like talking about these movies because they're so weird. And this one is one of those. It's probably one of the weirdest movies I've seen. It just feels so odd. It's a movie from 1976. It's an adaptation from an original story. I'm not sure who wrote the story, but yeah, it seems that that's his only screenplay for which he has a credit. So, yeah. It starts with two Asian guys fighting each other, then two black guys with huge afros, and two white guys. It's like, okay, what are they doing? Testing them by color? Okay. So they fight, but obviously the one with the better weapon win. I mean, there's even one that pulls a gun. And apparently they're supposed to be some kind of human robots. Assassin robots. Death machines. Then we cut to what looks like someone's backyard. Yeah, it's just weird. You see the house in the back, the fence, and the pool. It's just... It doesn't look that luxurious. I don't know. It looks like somebody's backyard. And the person it belongs to is called Mr. G. He's some kind of crime boss. And he asks for a hit on two different persons. There's the bank president, and then there's this guy who has a karate club. It switches after that to somebody on the roof trying to gun down somebody else. And there's this, I don't know, synth music playing. It's just, to me, it sounds like the 80s so much, even though that's 1976. It's just so kitsch, and that starts playing. And out of nowhere comes the assassins who take the guy out, and that's it. They just drop him off the roof, and he lands on the car while a cop is trying to give the car a parking ticket. So, yeah, that's bad. So, they send a new hitman, and then cue the cheesy music again. And the death machines show up, and this time to use a bazooka. I mean, I'm watching that and I'm just thinking, please tell me that's supposed to be a comedy. Because, I mean, that is the less inconspicuous thing ever. Using a rocket launcher to take out a guy. You're not talking stealth there. Then, the actual guy who runs the hitman service is on the phone with Mr. G, telling him that all of his guys have gotten killed. And while he's saying that, he gets run over by a bulldozer. Yeah, that's pretty bad. So this Asian lady who's running that assassin thing calls Mr. G to tell him that from now on, they're the service to use. Mr. G goes to meet with her to see if they're really serious. And meanwhile, his driver goes to an Italian restaurant. And the owner is so stereotypical, it's not even funny. He talks like Mario.
It's my own recipe. Lots of people, they asking me for the recipe, but I'm going to tell them nothing to do.
Seriously. Yeah, so the driver is eating, but there's something weird in his food, so he calls the owner, and the owner gets really pissed off. Oh, I'll fire whoever did that. And he walks away, and at that same time, there's a car that rams the restaurant. And then I'm just thinking, well, are we going to find out who did that to his plate? And what's going to happen with the restaurant owner? Because so far, that's the only characters I've cared about in that movie. They're the first ones that we see interact in a normal way. And I got really invested in that scene. Because, it feels so out of place. That first portion of the movie, there's almost nobody talking. It's extremely weird. And then we get this scene. I don't know. So then the driver goes outside to be confronted by the assassins. Yeah, so that doesn't end well for him. Then Mr. G receives a basket with his driver's head in it. That's supposed to show that they're professionals. Then it switches to the karate class, with the professor showing up with that statue that is the same one that the driver found in his spaghetti. And he's asking them, has anybody placed that there? It was in front of my office door. And all of a sudden, there's the assassins jumping in, they slaughter everyone, and it should be a very devastating scene, there's so many people getting killed, but it's just so funny. It's ridiculous. First, you can tell that they're never actually landing their hits, and then to keep yelling the whole time, like, yeah, yeah, yeah! It sounds so weird, especially when you see somebody getting sliced and falling down and you have this, yeah! Yeah, that just doesn't work. And then there's one survivor. I'll call him the Karate Kid in that case, because I didn't even remember his name. And police interrogate him and showed the statue that his instructor had found. The one he found in front of his office door. That he clearly stated that. Well, the kid says that, oh yeah, my instructor found it, but I don't know where.
Our instructor found it somewhere. I don't know where.
I figured, okay, well, maybe he got a concussion and forgot about it. I don't know. But then the police guy asks him about the killer's face. I'll never forget these faces.
I'll never forget their faces.
Okay. No, I guess his memory is still good, so no excuse. And then we learn that the killers will come back to get rid of the witness. So, he's not safe. And we see him in his room, and there's this nurse going in, talking to him. And I'm not sure what she says, but he says something about, all I need is my right hand.
Everyone needs friends. We all do.
The only thing I need right now is my right hand.
Just out of context, it sounds hilarious. And it sounds like something else, right? I mean, yeah, okay, he needs his right hand because he doesn't have it anymore, but, So the assassins show up, and they try to go kill the Karate Kid, but, oh man, these guys seems immune to bullets. Well, except maybe headshots, but yeah, they're just like zombies. And what a death scene. The main detective gets reamed in by his captain, and that's another thing that I'm like, well, will that stay unsolved? I mean, what's the captain's problem with the lieutenant guy? It's just out of nowhere, or we don't know, there's probably a recurring problem there, but that's something else in the story. So it turns out the assassin is not dead. He tricks the cops into removing his handcuffs and beats the crap out of the precinct. There's even a cop that gets shot in the back by another cop. I mean, that's just ridiculous there. But talking about ridiculous, there's not as ridiculous as the number of bullets the guy has taken, and the fact that he even got shot in the head and he can run away like that. I mean, what is he? Immortal or something? What did they do to him for him to be like that? So anyway, the assassin guy ends up in a diner. Somebody offers him a burger, and then the guy says that he wants to help him, and says,
and I want you to read them. They'll help you to find God.
And I'm thinking to myself, oh, it's one of those. Of course. Help only to indoctrinate, right? Then there's a group of thugs that show up. So now we're on another tangent again. They start bugging the killer and they do the mistake of actually touching him. But, at that point, he's actually getting weak. I mean, he got shot, 15 times or something like that? I don't know, but yeah. He gets knocked down, but just at that time his buddies arrive. So we get this other big fight scene accompanied with some weird music. Yeah, that was another weird one. And really, the music is the thing that bugs me. It sounds so out of place. It feels too upbeat for the scenes. I don't know. Oh, and then we switch to some girl talking on the phone, and turns out she's a daughter of the bank president. And the guy, if you remember, has a hit on his head. So the assassins arrive to take her as leverage. They kidnap her and they try to blackmail her dad, but it doesn't work. So they set a bomb in his office. It's like, wow, that's proportionate. He tries to get out, but he's handcuffed. The door is locked, so his assistant cannot come in and help. And it's hilarious to see her look around for the key. It just feels like, okay, I'm taking my time and just looking everywhere. I'll be coming at some point. While the guy is just freaking out because there's a bomb right next to him. And then time runs out, and the bomb starts dinging, going like this ding, ding sound. So the guy is just, oh, oof, that was a fake. And he continues to ding for a bit, and he's just relaxing, and kaboom! Yeah, I knew right away that was gonna happen, but hey. So, Karate Kid goes back to the dojo, and there's this girl there who seems to really like him, and they end up going on a date. And he takes her to a place where you see this girl dancing half naked. I'm just thinking, wow, talk about a place to take a girl. That's wow, no, you don't do that. But apparently that's where he works. So it's just, well, okay, come over to my workplace so we can chat a bit. Yeah. And then the focus switches to the girl. There's this guy that comes to talk to her, to tell her about, oh, watch out for your feelings, blah, blah, blah. It's just, okay, another tangent. And then all of a sudden, there's this drunk guy that makes a scene in the bar, and that Karate Kid gets his ass handed to him. And that went out of hand really quick. So, Karate Kid guy ends up sleeping with the girl, and they go on a vacation. So, let me get it straight. It's a movie about an organization of assassins, and now we're seeing this random survivor go on vacation. Losing focus much? Oh, and all of a sudden he sees the killers, so he goes after them, just drops off the girl and goes. So the girl calls the cops, and the lieutenant gets the call, and decides to go and arrest them. And the captain's just freaking out because he didn't give him the report. So the lieutenant just stands up to the captain saying, I have to go and arrest them, and leaves. And
To hell with the paperwork and screw you.
you know, you feel like it's a scene where you should be feeling vindicated for him, but yeah, it really doesn't work because we've only had one interaction between him and the captain, so we don't really care either way. And then it's so sudden that the guy just ends up sounding like a Karen. Meanwhile, the karate guy finds the killer and goes to their lair. And I guess he wants to take them on, but he got beaten up by an old drunk. So, what do you think he will do against a bunch of killing machines? He gets attacked by the boss lady, but the cops arrive just in time to kill her. The other boss is already dead. And we realize that the assassins killed him, and they're now trying to fly to another country. And then we get this freeze frame that is just way too long with nothing happening. There's not even text going, nothing. And that, I guess, is the credits. So I guess they knew nobody would care to watch those. Or, you know, nobody would care who worked on that movie. I don't know. But yeah, that's how it ends. Just this freeze frame. It's okay. The movie's finished, I guess? So there's too many loose ends in that movie, with all those tensions that seem to take much of the story. It's, how would I say that? It feels more like an anthology kind of movie where you have connected stories. You know, there's whole thing of assassins going by, and then you have smaller movies inside. It's just that they didn't do it like that. It's actually just one movie, but it feels like those little scenes are supposed to be kind of a side movie, just because they're so disconnected one from another that it's hard to connect them. And they just go on a tangent completely unrelated, and you never actually go back to it. So, I don't know. Really hard to follow. It is weird, but it's actually extremely funny because of how weird it is. I swear, that has to be a comedy that has to be made to be funny, because otherwise, who would have thought that this is a serious movie? I don't know. So anyway, if you've seen it, let me know in the comments what you think. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to share, like, and subscribe. That will really help me bring you more great content. In the meantime, stay safe. See you guys. Ciao.